A fateful encounter. One day, Jack, a skilled and seasoned construction engineer, traveled to a rural mountain area to survey land for an upcoming project. The morning sun streamed through the leaves, casting dappled shadows across the rugged, stony path he walked along. His mind was absorbed in calculations and plans when suddenly, a slender, solitary figure caught his attention. Beside a small path near the entrance to an old cave, Jack saw a young woman. Light Etienne had a fragile frame, her long black hair falling loosely around her shoulders, and her face bore traces of sorrow. She was carefully sweeping the ground, gathering up dry leaves and stones, trying to make the cave more livable. Jack paused, watching her silently for a moment, feeling a strange blend of curiosity and compassion for this lonely figure, seemingly lost among the vast, rugged mountains. Jack approached her gently, not wanting to startle her. "Hello there, are you living here?" he asked in a kind voice. Etienne looked up, surprise flashing in her wary gaze, but slowly, her defenses lowered as she sensed his sincerity. Softly, she began to tell him about her life, a broken marriage, and the pain of being cast aside by her husband's family because she couldn't bear children. Jack listened intently, his heart heavy with sympathy. In his eyes, Etienne was a woman of quiet beauty and resilience, carrying wounds buried deep within. Moved by her story, he offered her a place to stay at his family's small farm nearby. "There's plenty of room. You'll have a warm place to rest, and I can find you some simple work if you're willing," he said. Etienne, taken aback by this stranger's kindness, hesitated but soon agreed. She had little to lose, and Jack's offer felt like a lifeline. And so, her journey took a new turn as she followed him to his family's farmhouse. Jack's family farm lay in a serene green valley. Modest cottages, vegetable gardens, and pastures dotted the land, creating a simple yet warm atmosphere. As Etienne stepped into this new environment, she was greeted by the scent of earth and freshly cut grass, a comforting contrast to the cave she had called home. Each day, Etienne helped Jack care for the farm, watering plants, tending to the chickens, and working in the vegetable gardens. Beneath the morning sunlight, they worked side by side, talking and sharing stories about their lives. Day by day, Jack's admiration for her grew, not only for her gentle beauty, but for the strength and quiet determination she possessed. In the evenings, they would sit on the farmhouse porch, watching the sunset cast its golden glow over the distant mountains. These moments of peace together stirred feelings in Jack's heart, and before he knew it, he found himself falling for the quiet, gentle woman who had come into his life so unexpectedly. Gradually, Jack began to take Etienne out on small trips, hoping to lift her spirits and help her rediscover the joys of life. He took her to the city, introducing her to friends, showing her his construction projects, and explaining his passion for architecture. Standing atop a tall building he had once supervised, Etienne looked out over the bustling city below, glimpsing a world that felt new and exciting. On these little journeys, Jack saw a different side of Etienne, a side that was full of curiosity and quiet joy. Each day spent with her only deepened his feelings. Yet Jack kept his affection to himself, knowing that Etienne was still healing from the scars of her past. Instead, he expressed his care through simple acts, small gifts, warm meals, and evening strolls through the farm, just the two of them. Just as their affection for each other began to grow, two teens' past suddenly resurfaced. One day, her former husband arrived at the farm, looking remorseful and desperate. He tearfully admitted to realizing his mistake and confessed that he needed her, pleading for her to come back. Jack stood nearby, silent and torn. He didn't want to interfere with two teens' decision. As much as he wanted her by his side, he respected her past and didn't want to add to her burden. Tien was torn, trapped between her feelings for Jack and a sense of unfinished duty toward her past. Her heart had once been deeply hurt by the man now begging her to return, but with Jack, she had found peace, a new beginning, and even hope. After several nights of deep reflection, she understood that Jack had become her true source of happiness, the one who loved her sincerely, expecting nothing in return. In the end, Tien chose to stay with Jack. She knew that his love was unconditional, genuine, and without demands. Unlike her past, Jack's love was steady, respectful, and rooted in everyday life, the life they had quietly built together on the small farm. The day her former husband left, Jack held her hand tightly, promising her a love that would never let go. Together, they worked to nurture their little farm, caring for it with dedication and hope. Their days were filled with the quiet joy of tending to the land and the peace of knowing they had found each other amid life's trials. Their love, like the mountains around them, stood strong and unshakable, a testament to healing and the simple happiness of a life shared.